and welcome back to EastEnders Weekly, your weekly podcast that's all about RuPaul's Drag Race Christmas specials.
Ooh, jingle bells, Christmas is coming and RuPaul specials on Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I know, we haven't watched it yet because it's only been released in the UK as we record this.
I know.
So a bit of a treat maybe
But
a bit
RuPaul
later.
UK has been announced as well.
I know, and with Michelle Visage and RuPaul as judges. Do you reckon Lorraine Kelly off the telly will be a judge too?
I think Kat Slater maybe.
Oh, yes.
Because this isn't really about RuPaul's Drag Race. It's about EastEnders.
Oh,
Sorry.
I thought you were going to reference the Kat Slater photo on Instagram with Michelle Visage.
Well, you just did. So thanks for that.
You're welcome.
I am Ben and I am joined by Alex.
Hello
this
to you all.
Hello. And we are discussing episodes of EastEnders that was broadcast between the 3rd and the 7th of December.
Yes, and as we did last week, just to let you guys know that if you listen to the show, at some point during it, there will be an opportunity for you to enter our competition to win a EastEnders Best Of DVD and an official DVD and an official EastEnders Weekly mug too. So keep listening to the show and we'll give you all the details of how you can enter. This is the last week.
It is your last chance.
This is your last opportunity to enter, so keep listening.
So we are going to start off with Mel's storyline and cheating Ray, who appears to have more wives and girlfriends than we thought.
He's got lots of them.
How many are there? How much money does he have?
What we know of, 3. And then also, where is all this money coming from? How does
and
he have
time.
Yeah, how does he have this big bank account? Because every time the storyline kind of gets deeper and deeper into the boggy marsh, I keep turning to you and I say, I just don't know how he has the time.
I know.
I just do not know how he has the time to do it. If I had the time, I'd love to have 2 other men on the go, but sadly, I just don't have the time, Ben.
All the funds.
But you don't know about my
All the charm.
Hey! Just you hang back there, lad.
The storyline started this week with Mel arranging to go to Wolford East with Ray. But he doesn't turn up. Typical Ray, never does.
No. So this is Masood's opportunity to maybe stir up a bit of trouble too.
They're still going with this storyline.
Yes, the Masood and Ian storyline continues, where they're all each trying to outfox each other. But at first you think that Masood's got some genuine intentions to maybe help Ian out. Give a mate a favour.
No, it's just another week where someone's trying to make fun of Ian. We've had it 3 weeks in a row now with different characters. And it's Masood's turn this week. So he sort of phones Ian and says, Mel's here on her own and Ray hasn't turned up. It's your chance to get in with her.
Yeah.
So Ian leaves Alfie's children on their own.
Leaves
in the
3
house.
children unsupervised.
We know how dangerous the Beale living room can be.
Well, we know how dangerous leaving 3 children on their own in the square at all can be.
So that wasn't very good of Ian. Very strange. Not like Ian. If Catherine was there, that wouldn't have happened.
No, let's just rewind back quickly. Not like Ian. This is Ian, who he is on serious heat because he hasn't had a girlfriend for a very long time.
He's still got a wife.
He still has a wife, but not a wife that is dutifully giving him any favours in the bedroom department.
I mean, Mel's storyline this week was probably my favourite. My least favourite was Alfie, but more on that in a minute.
Yes.
But this is just, I hated this first bit with Ian because it's just cringy and
the start was
awkward.
It's a bit of a false start, wasn't it?
Yeah, because he turns up and says, "Oh, Mel, you can have free dinner. You can try out the new menu and stuff."
Yes, the new tasting menu. And as we all know by now,
she hears free.
She loves free. She likes to have a free meal.
And an opinion.
And an opinion. And a bottle of wine. I mean, she took her judging role quite seriously. It was she had a little notebook, didn't her? A little pen. Every time she took a little morsel of food, she was like, yes. Adequate.
She's taking something seriously, I guess.
Well, she's taking her relationship with Ray very seriously.
Because he does turn up in the end, much to Ian's disappointment.
Yes.
So when, obviously, Ray goes to the toilet, Ian locks him underground.
When he locks him in the toilet, thinking that that's going to be that's going to basically make Mel realise that he wants Ian this whole time. It's like, where's Ray gone now? Oh, he stood you up again. Oh, well, Ian, should we go back to yours now? Where the 3 kids are burning the house down.
And Ray literally gets out in about 2 minutes.
Well, he goes through the fire escape. Yeah. And he commends, to be fair to Ray, he commends Ian for having a good fire escape. But
slight dig, I think.
I think so. But have you ever been to a restaurant or a shop or anything which has a fire escape? The fire escape is normally alarmed. So why did the alarm not go off when Ray climbed through the
Because
fire
Ray's an
escape?
undercover cop, so he
No, so he kept
rewired it.
Well, he also rewired Mel, because later on, when Mel goes down to the toilet, Ray's somehow persuaded her to be a bit
I thought
more
this
loose.
was a bit crap of Mel, really. Because, she knows all this stuff is happening. She's trying to, double cross him. And then she just goes into the downstairs toilet and does weird voiceover work.
Well, I've got a big note about those weird voices. It's like, do you want to try to recreate it with me? So Mel was very much like, ooh, ooh.
It is weird. She's, faking it. It's like Mrs. Krabappel on Simpsons.
Mrs. Crabapple.
Yeah, it's really odd. It's like voiceover of, ooh, yeah. And then, her hand, she's going on her hand. Ooh.
And Ray's like, oh,
it's gross. And Ian's listening.
They should have reused the sound effects they used for Big Mo when she was doing her conjuring
That was better.
of the spirits.
It's Tamsin Althwaite's worst thing, her voiceovers, when she has to, redub lines. It's always really obvious when Tamsin Althwaite does it.
I mean, you're not meant to notice the redubbing of lines. But
Well, with her, you definitely do.
Unfortunately, you do.
Because someone tweeted to us and said, it sounded like they were both just putting their hands up against each other and kissing their hands. It was 101 drama acting. Not very good.
I mean, I didn't notice any of the kissy noises. I just noticed Mel.
Her fake ooh.
Yeah, her oohs. They were really weird. I want to go back and listen to them again. I just don't know.
Need a mix of the oohs and the Keanu and Sharon sex noise. A remix.
No, you need the one when Sharon gets her bum smacked by Phil. It's like, That's what they needed to use.
So Ray wants to take Mel back home to finish
the job.
Finish whatever they were doing, not quite sure. I don't think Ian really knows either. But he gets a phone call saying that one of his work things have come up.
Well, the woman he had arrested, who is quite mad, had somehow escaped custody, and now all the police are trying to find her. And when Mel asks what the lady's name was, he said it's Maddie. And that immediately rings the alarm bells in Mel's head.
Yes, because Maddie's the supposed other girlfriend that we know about. The personal trainer is called Maddie.
I thought he was married to Maddie. I thought he was married with a kid, with a daughter.
Oh, yeah. But that's the personal trainer woman.
That's the personal trainer woman.
So it gets a bit confusing if he's now, using a code name for one of his other secrets as one of his secret wives' real name. It's a bit how is he going to keep on top of this?
This is what I mean. Ray's tangling himself in quite a web.
So he's got a client not called Maddie, but he's calling her Maddie.
It's not a client. It's someone he's arrested.
Yeah.
Who's a nutter.
But that Maddie, that code name of Maddie, he's taken from the other wife that Mel knows about.
Well, it's her name.
Yeah. So
he hasn't taken anything. It's her
surely
name.
There's more than two names that Ray could use here. So this is going to get very confusing for Ray.
I suppose he was on the spot, and so he just because he wasn't talking to the police. He was talking to Maddie on the phone.
He was talking to his daughter, but he used the code name Maddie.
Oh, of course he was. Yes, because
That's what I mean. See?
Oh, for goodness' sake!
Why is he using Maddie?
Maybe his daughter's name is Maddie.
No, she's not. But I mean, so this upsets Mel. She's suspicious. She gets in contact with the actual Maddie.
Maddie, his wife, his
personal trainer, Maddie.
His second, for now, his other woman.
Yes.
So his other woman. I mean,
personal trainer Maddie, we'll call her.
Personal trainer.
Low carb diet Maddie.
Yes, she has also drawn a little game of hangman that she plays with herself while she's on the phone to Maddie.
I know,
which was a really weird. I don't quite.
It was weird.
Get
it was like pointing out to us that she's angry at Ray.
Well, she wants
really
Ray
obviously.
hung. She wants Ray to be hung. But she writes it out like a game of hangman. So she draws little lines, 3 lines underneath, and she's guessing with herself. Right, is there an R in it? Oh, yes, there is. But she's really bad at the game because she filled in the whole hangman, so she wasn't able to.
Angry.
Well, she wasn't able to work out the puzzle being Ray.
Not Simon.
But true. If it had been Simon, she would have just been bamboozled.
Yeah. So she has to go to E20 to meet the real Maddie, which is obviously where Mel works.
But she doesn't want Maddie to know that's where she works. She doesn't. Well,
she still thinks
manager.
Mel is called Claire.
Yes. God, this is so confusing. So Maddie and Claire, inverted commas, are meeting in E20. Mel has told the bar staff to not address her directly as the manager. Robbie almost immediately.
I know. The one time Robbie's in the week and he's.
Well, almost messes it up. But she does kind of build it.
She tells him to go away.
Well, she tells him to go away and calls him the local nutter. So
which is true.
Which is true. Poor Robbie, he seems to. But Robbie's also at the E20 again. So is Robbie trying to pull He seems to be at E20 more often than not nowadays.
Yeah, he's got to do something. Can't stay at Dot's living room, can he?
No, I know, but he's a desperate man, isn't he?
Maybe he liked the look of Maddie or Claire or Mel. She fills Maddie with drink again, like she always does, to get a bit of information out of her.
But she didn't drink.
No, lemonade.
Mm.
And she
there was
finds
some
out
lemonade, wasn't there?
Yeah, and some tea.
Yeah.
She finds out that Ray has like an old drinking ground, which is one of his old favourite pubs that she's not really heard of.
Yeah, the Rose and Crown. If there could be a more generic name for a pub, that is it. Well, there could have been like the Fox and Horses, I guess. Yeah. But the Rose and Crown.
Huntsman or something.
Yeah.
So she goes
there.
The
Elephant and Crown.
The femme fatale sort of movie vibe comes out again here with her red like car thing that she like. I don't know. It looks quite femme fatale movie-ish when she's sitting in her deep red car.
No,
I didn't know she had a vintage car.
To me, it seemed like a 1960s kind of like spy movie, not very kind of.
Yeah, that's true.
Not very film noir.
Yeah.
Like when they had that scene with the knife in her hand, and she Ray was behind her. And
she was in a red dress then, wasn't she?
She was, but the lighting was much. It's all about the lighting, Ben. It's all about softening the lighting. Well, we're not. In fact, hardening the lighting.
But she sees him come out with a young blonde woman.
Yes,
puts a coat on for her. So yeah, this rings alarm bells. We're now thinking, oh, there's another one on the go. So she follows. Off screen, she apparently follows them, so she knows where this girl lives, and then she gets hold of Maddie the next day. And they want to both go there.
They want to confront her, yes.
And find out some information.
They do. So Mel is up for it straight away. Kind of storms to the front door and starts knocking it. She had a doorbell, just ignored it, knocked on the door. Maddie's not so keen with the idea, but Maddie does eventually conceive and think, yes, we need to find out. But Maddie's not so good at the pretending to be a police officer routine.
No, she's a bit... Mel's a bit stronger than Maddie, isn't she? Which is why they're finally working out Ray's... See, Ray's messed up here getting with Mel because she's obviously the stronger of the secret wives.
Well, she's been jilted before, has old Mel. She's been jilted a few times, so she's used to this now. She's thicker skinned. Well, I think for Maddie, this is all new ground. Maddie was happy with her little comfortable life. And Maddie says this a few times. She's kind of like, oh, I'm just going to... At one point, I think she almost says, I'm just going to ignore what's happening and just go back to my normal life.
Obviously, Ray's gotten away with that a lot in the past, so we find out a bit later.
Yes.
So yeah, they do their sort of fake police interview thinking that Ray is this blonde woman's new boyfriend.
Yeah.
And then they see a photo of them together and they think it's suspicious that she has a photo of a new boyfriend, but which turns out it's her dad.
Yes.
And he's been married for 25 years.
25 years to another woman. So we now know he's a bigamist because we now know he's officially a bigamist. He wasn't going to become one when he married Mel. He's married to two women already to become a third. And and he's had two daughters. So that's probably why he's so attached to Hunter as well. That's probably because he's only ever had daughters, and Hunter's obviously he sees as his son. Although he has manipulated Hunter on a few occasions, I think that he's proud that he can name like a male heir to his kind of...
I mean, Hunter's taken quite a back seat in this storyline. I thought he was... When he was first in it, he was quite like front and centre. But I'm not sure what they're planning with. There must be something they're doing with Hunter, keeping him behind the scenes a bit.
Well, Hunter has seen his mum kind of slowly break down. Like at the beginning of the week, he was quite upset that he hadn't seen Ray for a little while. And then in the middle of the week, he saw Mel have a bit of a tantrum, I suppose.
Yeah, she smashed the phone.
She smashed the phone completely up, and Hunter kind of says, "Is everything okay?" He's like, "Oh yeah, work says that Ray's just going to be a bit longer or something like that." But obviously, Hunter's not stupid.
No.
Or at least I shouldn't think he is. He should realise by now that...
Yeah, I think he does.
Yeah, there's a tear between Ray and Mel, and it's one that's possibly not going to be able to be fixed quickly.
And towards the end of this storyline this week, we have Joanne's Cafe. Or Joe's Cafe.
I know. They've just named the cafe.
They've shortened the name already. They're on good first name terms with Joe now.
Maybe that feud between Joe and Kathy is fizzled out, and now they're all allowed to go there more often.
Yeah. So yeah, the third wife appears. I don't know how she knows that they're meeting there and then and in that cafe and stuff.
That was a bit strange, wasn't it? She just turned up.
But she's like quite well to do. She's in like a designer suit, like women's suit and stuff.
She seems much, not to disrespect the lady, but she also seemed much older than Mel, and certainly Maddie.
Yeah,
Maddie seems younger than Mel, so it's funny that Ray seems to be getting younger and younger with the women he's had relationships with.
It's really funny because the wife says, "Oh, you're nothing new. There'll be a new lot here in a few months." And Mel says, "Well, actually, he's been part of my teenage son's life since he was 2." And the woman's like, "Yeah, that doesn't mean anything."
Yeah.
It's like, really? It's quite a long time, isn't it?
15 years? Yeah, probably quite good.
I thought that was really like an odd... She doesn't seem to care. Obviously, this has happened a lot in the past, and she always knows.
I mean, also, it really makes me angry when the lady is taking the side of Ray rather than... And it's like, well, this has been happening a lot, so why aren't you kind of encouraging more that... maybe as sisters, like always, like the film First Wives Clubs, we should all get together and we should all fight against him together, which I'm thinking is going to happen because Maddie kind of concedes to Mel and agrees with Mel's terms that they're going to work together to get, okay, we'll do it your way. Maddie texts her to get
That's what
back
I mean.
at Ray.
Like, do you think Mel is the first strong one that Ray has been with, apart from his wife of 25 years? She's obviously quite a strong woman. So she's acting like, oh, you lot are nothing. Do you think all his past wives have been a bit like mousy, like Maddie? But obviously Mel's the first one to actually think, oh no, I've figured you out and I'm going to get everyone together and do a plan.
Do a big plan. Yeah, I mean, I don't think Maddie was completely aware of it happening at all.
No, but even though now she's still quite mousy about it, isn't she?
Yeah. I think she's one of those people who just wants to put your fingers in your ears and go la 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 la, and is pretending it's not happening. And Mel's kind of convinced her otherwise, that he shouldn't be really getting away with this. So Mel's been bitten once by Ray. She's given him up once, and now this time she's going to get total revenge because she feels like she's been fooled twice by the man.
So I mean, it's good she has Maddie on side for her plan. Obviously, this ex-wife could cause a bit of trouble in Mel's plan, so she's going to either try and have to break her down or get her on side, I assume. Yeah,
I don't think the ex-wife is going to tell Ray what she knows, because obviously she's known this for a long time with other women, so it's going to be one of those things that her naivety is bliss.
Maybe she sees Mel as not a threat, whereas really she may be.
I think she's just comfortable. She's obviously... we know that Ray has money, and she's obviously used to that wealth, and she doesn't really want to...
No, like Nicola might have other guys or something. Might be something like that.
I don't know. I don't think she is like that, because you can tell she's upset and she's worried she's almost worried that they're teaming up and that she's going to lose everything. Yeah. So again, it might be quite selfish reasons. She's worried that she's going to lose more than what maybe Ray will end up losing. The bank account. Yeah. The nice white business suits.
Yeah, it's quite exciting, this storyline. It's taking some different turns.
Yeah.
To what we maybe thought. Like, we thought maybe there'd just be Maddie, but it seems like there's a whole
host of them.
Heap.
And it might also be Louise, because we still don't know what's going to happen between Ray and Louise. We shall see.
Yeah, it's interesting. So next up, we are going off to our continuing feature, which is Julia's legacy.
Delving into Julia's theme again for another week, part 4. And I feel like we've not even scratched the surface.
I know.
This week we're doing 2000 to 2002, where we're looking at iconic stories that concluded an episode with Julia's theme. So we're going to hit the ground running and start off with the 20th of February 2000, which was the Frank and Peggy Butcher vowing to stay in Walford and get back 100% ownership of the pub, Queen Vic.
From Dan Sullivan. He bought his share for £5.
Bargain.
Like you do.
Yeah.
The Albert goes for £1. Bit of the Vic goes for £5.
Property in the East End of London down there is cheap.
It is. And this was also the 15th anniversary episode of EastEnders.
It is. Referenced by Dot by saying that, to Pauline as they're walking into the pub, 15 years ago, do you remember Reg Cox died? And Pauline reminds her that it was Arthur who found him.
Yes. Failed to mention that Nick killed him. That's not important.
Well, do we know? Oh, yes, we do know by then.
Yeah.
Of course we do.
It's an hour-long episode, and it's a special episode because there's like a bomb that's been found down Victoria Street, I think it is.
Yes.
And so everyone is in the Vic and no one can leave the Vic. So it's quite clever how they get all the characters stuck in this place. There's a lot of like plot themes going through it with people crossing over and slaps and sluts and all sorts from Pauline, which we love.
Well, a lot of stories have kind of, because they're all in this goldfish bowl of the Vic, a lot of the stories are bubbling over because they up until now, for instance, Ian and Mel haven't really seen each other since she walked away from him after the marriage.
Pauline blames Mel.
Then Mel lets out a few home truths about, you don't know what your nephew really did. And but Ian's like, oh, just leave it, Auntie, I'm Pauline. He's like, yeah, leave it.
It is good. I mean, it's one of those episodes that was, I think when it came out, it wasn't particularly liked, but as time's gone on, people look back on it, it's become almost like a cult classic episode.
More fondly remembered.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a police officer, a female police officer, and if I hadn't seen the classic EastEnders episodes, I wouldn't see a reference there, but I kind of see that the female police officer that they used to have in the 80s, the 85, 86 episodes, who always used to turn up during conflict or troubles, and it's almost like they're doing it again with this new female character.
Bit of a reference. And I mean, the Julius theme is with Peggy and Frank, and they're basically planning to sell up. Frank's had enough and he wants to move to Spain, so they want to sort of get away, and they're almost like trying to convince each other that it's a good idea to do this throughout the episode. So
it's Portugal actually. So they've actually got a villa in Portugal. They've bought it and they're ready to move on, leave
the square behind.
And a lot of the characters come along and say to Peggy, you know, could you really come back from visiting the square and see someone else behind the bar? This is your home. Pat says, I could never leave this place. This is where all my friends are. And as they get chipped away through time, Peggy and Frank, at first they don't tell each other that they want to stay.
No.
But then eventually they reveal their innermost feelings.
They do. And it also all combines into taking down Dan Sullivan and
Mel.
Yeah, and Mel, and getting their Vic back.
Exactly. Because Mel was behind the bar as well, and she was like the landlady. And it just felt wrong.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
Mel. Yeah.
Although young Mel really surprised me. I can't believe how gravelly her voice has become now.
I know.
She's so young and innocent in the old.
She gets a good slap in the girls' toilets. That's all.
She does from Pauline. That's a loud.
It is a loud.
That was really painful. You could tell there was
one of Pauline's better efforts, because she's not the best slapper. Yeah, it was real.
It was very real.
And the Julius thing was nice because it was almost, it wasn't just the episode, like the Frank and Peggy taking back, it was like remembering 15 years. So it was a nice use of the Julius theme for the anniversary episode.
The bottle episode, because everyone's self-contained. So moving on then, Sonia Jackson obviously has had Chloe at this point, later to be referenced to as Rebecca or Bex. Bring back Bex.
Number one YouTube star.
And on the 28th of November 2000, she had set up the adoption of Chloe and to have the baby taken away from her. And Robbie knew about it, but didn't know it was happening quite so quickly.
No, he knew like she was thinking about it, but no, she hasn't told anyone that she's 100% going through with this yet. And she's sort of cleverly arranged that Robbie, Jamie, Zoe and Kerry,
all very known characters,
Kerry, they're all going to go away, so it's the perfect time for Sonia to do this with no one watching,
being suspicious, because Jamie also holds the baby in this episode, and you can tell Jamie looks a bit uncomfortable, and Sonia and Jamie had broken up at this point from their relationship, but after this they get back together again.
They do.
But
Lovely Jamie,
but he was almost a factor of why she didn't really feel like she could care for the baby, because she lost Jamie. But she had a friend in Kim, a schoolgirl called Kim, who'd also been adopted, and Sonia keeps asking her questions like, you know, did you feel unwanted when you were adopted? Are you curious about your birth mum? And Kim's trying to encourage her to actually keep hold of Chloe.
She really encouraged her towards the end of it, especially when the social workers turn up. She's really sort of pleading and crying to Sonia to think about what she's doing, but Sonia doesn't want to get connected to Bex/Chloe.
No,
she's quite keen on, you know, the social worker says, "Oh, you need to read through this, sign it," and she doesn't read. She just signs it and gives it, and that's it.
Doesn't even look when the baby's taken away from her.
No.
Shout out that Sunita from Coronation Street played the social worker.
Yes.
So she was soap privy before Coronation Street.
I remember
along.
that at the time.
But Sonia she has no emotion whatsoever, and she's not even crying. She's not. Well, she does at the end of the episode when the episode closes, but at this point she's just trying to stay strong. And this is when you see a new... Sonia was always quite naive and quite not gullible, but almost had a sweet, soft side to her. And it was this point where Sonia kind of hardened a little bit.
Gave her a bit of an edge, didn't it?
Yeah.
A bit of a colder edge to her. But that's when the Julius theme kicks in, of course, when she starts crying. Slow build up as it does. But yeah, it is sad. I mean, this is an ongoing storyline where she does get Bex back eventually, but you know, they ran with this for quite a while.
It was a good story. Although it's interesting that the way Chloe or Bex was conceived is something that could be discussed today, because Sonia looks up and says that it was all done with a bottle of whiskey. She doesn't even remember it happening. No. So that's a hot topic at the moment, and that's something, if you remember rightly, Sonia was almost supporting the guys in the pub in last week's episode.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? All these things you see back in hindsight.
Absolutely.
Very interesting. And also interesting that Sonia can down half a bottle of vodka at 15. No, whiskey. Yeah,
the hard stuff. Not even a light.
Very
spirit.
Impressive.
No, I don't know. I reckon
that's what they do at band practice. You see, toughens her up.
Well, she's got the technique from doing the trumpet, hasn't she? She can purse her lips around the bottle and just gulp. So third up on this edition of Julia's Legacy.
I like this one.
Roy and Pat get back together again after Pat and Frank had their affair.
Yes, and Roy chucked her out.
Yes.
This is when he said he doesn't like the earrings.
He
never liked your earrings.
Which is referred at the end of the episode.
It is. I remember this episode when it was broadcast. It was really sweet. I mean, I always quite enjoyed Roy. I thought he was a really just a sweet character. And I always liked him and Pat together, even though her one true love or the love of her life was Frank. I did always have a soft spot for Roy.
Yeah.
He was a really sweet guy, and he just wanted... he would always give up everything to get Pat back.
He was a good character. And he actually did forgive Pat quite soon after the affair was exposed. But then Barry found a suitcase which had fishnet stockings, baby oil, and a red basque.
Yeah, that's what she was planning to run away with.
She was. Just that. Nothing else. Not clothes or money.
I love how tarty Pat is. It's so funny. It's amazing. It's just amazing. But yeah, they're stuck in a traffic jam, and Roy is, because Pat's going to leave and move away.
Yes.
And Roy wants to catch her, this always happens on EastEnders.
And there's only one taxi company in the whole of Wolford, and that's Barry's taxi company.
It is.
So they're communicating through the radio link between the two taxis. But Natalie is doing the connecting.
Yes.
So it's a bit like he said this and she said that to one another.
Yeah, and then they realise, oh wait, you're parked across the road from me.
We're literally next to each other.
This is my chance. Because they're stuck in a traffic jam, and Roy says he loves her and wins her heart back again.
Yeah, really nice actually. And it was Barry's not happy though. He still he
never does forgive her.
No, and he even when she comforts him when Roy dies later on,
he chucks her out.
I
remember that. I loved that episode when he chucks her out.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, it's just because there's no. It's it's all really quick back then, and he dies and he just chucks her out that day, and it is amazing.
Even though she comforts him, he's like, no,
yeah, he doesn't forgive her.
None of it. So yeah, as you touched at the beginning, he does reference her earrings again just before the Julius theme starts.
He does. He'll put up with them. He says,
yeah,
"I'll even put up with your earrings," and that breaks her hard outer shell, and she laughs. And they stand in the middle of the motorway, and it zooms out, and Julius theme's playing, and it's all dark and wet, and very exciting.
We're trying to see what motorway they closed off, just out of boredom, out of curiosity. And it was really, we couldn't really work it out. But it's strange because when they do the shot when the camera lifts, you can actually see that there is no traffic jam ahead of them. So we don't really.
I know there's an ambulance kind of, but not really anything blocking anything.
There had been an accident, but it's past now. And so maybe they were holding the traffic up because they were both talking to each other outside of the cars, but surely the other traffic can respect this love story that's enveloping around them.
I respect it.
So do
I allow it. Next up, we have the 10th of May 2001, which is Ian Beale's third wedding.
My goodness, is it really third wedding?
Yes, it is. Yeah,
16 years.
Yeah,
he doesn't half pass him round, doesn't he?
So this is to Laura Dunn, known as Laura Beale.
Yes, former childminder.
Him and Mel's marriage is off the rocks. That's gone.
Yes.
So he's moved on to the nanny now.
He has. But look, you have to remember that lots of things happened. So as soon as him and Mel had broken up, up until this point, Ian's life was falling apart. So he'd lost Mel. It got exposed by everyone, the reason why he lost Mel.
Yeah, lied about Lucy's cancer.
Yes. So lost a lot of respect from people in Wolford.
Yeah, I mean, his businesses are going out. He's losing money.
Well, he's completely bankrupt. It's that famous episode, I don't know if you remember, when he's just running from his business to business to business, just collecting all the money from the cash registers, thinking that if he can just get enough money up together. And then he falls on his knees and asks Phil to help him. And he just laughs at him and kind of kicks him off.
And it's quite a low-key wedding for EastEnders. It's just at the registry office, not many guests, just the 2 witnesses. And it's really bizarre because online, on the archives everywhere, there's no references or images or videos of this episode.
No.
Which I thought was really strange, seeing as it's a Julius theme, and 2, it's one of Ian's weddings.
Yeah,
it's
so
really
it'd be quite important to keep it archived. So Laura's basically helped Ian out of his hole. They get married, but Laura's dad doesn't believe that he's marrying her for good intentions because Ian finds out that she's got a bit of money behind her too.
Yes, and Ian is really horrible to Laura, like really horrible. He like fakes a vasectomy because she wants a baby.
But this is a bit later on.
Yeah, but like their marriage is
a nasty,
shocking.
Yeah,
really horrible. Ian through this stage, one of his most nasty times, I think. But I mean, I guess the Julius theme using on this was that sort of Ian's finally found a bit of happiness after so much torment,
and yet it's one of his most destructive relationships. It's a strange one to use it on.
And our next one is the 21st of December 2001, and this is lovely.
I love this story,
one of our lovely ones. It's when Jim Branning proposes to Dot Cotton on the London Eye. Lovely relationship, lovely story. Dot, she never really accepts anyone else since Charlie's died, and she's never really been loved, has she? She's always had like barriers up and stuff.
People have always used her. So Charlie's always used her, Nick's always used her. Her family have always kind of wanted her for any purpose other than just have a relationship with her. And you can tell that by the fact that she's always trying to gain attention from people on the outside by feigning illness and always acting up and playing up. And there's this one person who actually has got a soft spot for her, and she almost doesn't want to believe it. And Jim shows his intentions to her a few days before by saying that he loves her and he wants to be with her, and she runs away and doesn't believe that he's talking truth. She says they're just words, they mean nothing.
And it's really sweet because when he finally does propose to her on the London Eye, she sort of reluctantly says yes, but almost doesn't want to show her emotions or bury it down. And the way she says, "Oh yeah, I'm quite fond of you too," and
when she says, "You're not bad either."
Yeah,
it's such a lovely.
And the way they both turn away from each other as well once they both said yes, and you can see like a bit of smile on her face as she turns away from him, and it is really sweet. And it is one of the nicest relationships.
It's really nice. I mean, it's a shame that the actor in real life had a stroke, and so he wasn't able to continue. This was a bit further on, but he wasn't continuing the role with him.
It was a shame, but though he was great.
Dot and Jim were a lovely relationship, and really.
And it was like a second chance of both of them because Jim, was a horrible dad, but he was able to be a really nice grandfather and a nice wife to Dot, and it was almost Dot's second chance to have a proper marriage, not one that was fake with Charlie and things like that. So yeah, it was nice.
It's nice also because we watched their wedding as well. Not that that's a Julia's theme, but before she gets to the church, she goes to Ethel's grave and asks for permission. Not permission, but kind of like, is she doing the right thing?
Yeah,
and she has the full conversation with herself between her and Ethel, and it's a really great scene.
It is lovely.
But yes,
it's exactly what Ethel would have said.
Exactly. I love Ethel.
Just go with it, girl. So our next one and our final one that we'll be talking about this week is the 1st of February 2002. And this is when Peggy Mitchell says a farewell to Frank Butcher in Spain.
Yes. So we talked about the Spain episode when Peggy visited because she thought that Frank had died.
Yes, for his funeral.
In episode 33, which was the brief history of Wolford's Stories Abroad. So if you want to listen to it, go back and have a listen. But long story short is that Frank basically is caught out at his own funeral by Peggy, but Frank is also caught out by Crystal, who he started a...
he's trying to con, and like she's conning him.
Yes, so they're they're together. He thinks they're conning expats in buying holiday share properties, but she's actually conning him out of all his money. And Peggy feels a bit sorry for Frank that he's been caught out by this Crystal. Crystal is played by another Coronation Street actress as well. Rula Lenska, who
Yes.
is currently in Coronation Street.
I do love that actress. She like just looks
Fiery, doesn't she?
yeah, and like iconic. Like she looks like Dallas-y.
Yeah.
Or like Dynasty. I don't know. There's something about her that just looks like
Shoulder
iconic-y.
pads.
Yeah.
Shoulder
something
pads
about her hair and her make and her voice.
Big makeup.
But yeah, it's nice. And Frank obviously tries to say, well, why don't we give it a go again? But Peggy's sort of strong enough now to sort of say, actually, no, this isn't right.
Yeah.
And she does say no to him. And this is also when Sam Mitchell has been recast and she's out to find Sam and bring her back home as well.
Well, yeah, she stumbles onto Sam, doesn't she? Because she knows she's around.
In a strip club.
In a strip club. I mean, this is no disrespect to the original Sam, but I have to say I liked Kim Metcalf Sam a little bit
So
more.
did I. She was great. And this is when they were bringing her back for the big Dirty Den storyline. So it was a big time in EastEnders around now. But it's a really nice Julius theme because Peggy has said no to Frank and she's heartbroken, he's heartbroken. But I think she knows it's kind of the right thing to do. So she went out there to say goodbye to him for his funeral.
Yeah.
And either, even though he's still alive, she still said goodbye. And that's it for him. And he is devastated because he's just been conned as well.
Yes.
And he's lost Peggy. So
he's lost a bit of grace as well and a bit of dignity because he's been caught out. Yeah,
and this is the second to last time Frank returns as well. So he returns one more time in 2002. But yeah.
Is that also a Julius
I'm not
theme?
sure. He has his own spin-off. I know that. We'll find out next week.
Spin-offs
maybe.
is another maybe topic to cover.
But yeah, it's really nice Julie things used throughout these 6 we've done. They're all pretty good
and
all
interesting,
worthwhile.
and exactly they were worth being done because at the time of them being broadcast, there was a point to them, and they're quite poignant.
Yeah, and the show's been on 15 years, so like they're all these big characters that are getting them, and
well, the more established characters, so it makes more sense to have them used. So yes, so there'll be a bit. We're not going through the years quite so quickly now because there's a few more Julia themes to cover as we go along. But
so we'll get up to 2005 next time, and
oh, lovely.
Yeah.
Is there any memories that the listeners have that they would like to share with us? Any Julius themes or endings to episodes or characters that you'd like to share? If you do, then tweet us at EastEnders Week. You can find us on Instagram at EastEnders Weekly Podcast. Facebook, just search EastEnders Weekly Podcast. Or you can email us, eastendersweekly@gmail.com. And that was another edition of Julia's Legacy. Lovely. Something a bit more musical now than a theme tune. Actually, that makes no sense at all. But we're going to talk about Honey, Adam.
Something a bit more hunky now.
Oh, okay, nice. Something a bit more hunky now. And we're going to start with Honey and Adam. Because Adam's been stood up.
He has. Well, Billy's meddling again, really. He's being childish.
I mean, to begin with, this wasn't necessarily Billy's fault because he'd been invited to the party.
He knows what he's doing. He knows very well what he was doing.
He was meant to babysit their kids, and Honey...
because Honey had tickets to the theatre. She never gets to go to the theatre.
No, she doesn't get to do anything nice nowadays. No. Thanks to Billy. And unfortunately, she can't go. So Adam, quite uncharacteristically, says, oh, okay, that's fine. But then when the doors close behind him, he gets quite angry. And
he starts ripping up the ticket.
Tears the tickets up, has a bit of an Incredible Hulk, his shirt rips, he turns green.
And he sees Billy walking along, and I thought, oh, is he about to like beat him up in the alley?
Yeah, because he really gives him he throws a vicious look at him.
Although I'd be angry because those tickets might cost loads of money.
Well, he was able to get those new tickets the next day, so it couldn't have been that much. But Billy's basically gone out to buy a crate of beer for the said party, which we'll be discussing next. And obviously Adam goes and tells Honey, and they both catch him back in the pub later gambling, which is not amused Honey at all.
And she says, oh, well, we're going out tomorrow, so you got the kids all day, hope you got a hangover.
Yeah.
I'm glad that Honey I keep saying this every time it happens, but I'm glad Honey keeps pushing Billy down. I like it.
I agree. I really don't see whether we're meant to be feeling some kind of compassion for Billy, but I have none at all. He's not horrible. It's just
he's being more childish than Ian and Mel, and that's saying something.
He's being big time. Exactly.
It's awful. But I mean, I don't want Adam to be evil because I like Adam. I just want him to be nice.
I mean, this is as soon as Adam tore those tickets, I just immediately in my head I thought, I know where this is heading.
I mean, and we have got an exclusive because I tweeted the guy who plays Adam, and he says, "Watch out! There's a lot more to come," with an emoji of his hands rubbing together.
Ooh.
What does that mean?
Well, let's think.
More to come.
More to come. What could be coming then? What do you think is going to happen?
It's going to be something horrible, and Billy's going to save the day.
Well, that's what I think is going to happen.
I don't want that to happen.
I think Adam's going to end up being a little bit more cruel.
Or Adam murders Billy.
No, there'll be no murder. Stop murdering people. We have this habit of wanting people dead. Just
Only certain people.
Knocking them off.
Billy, Alfie now is my top of the list.
They're all male.
Yeah.
But no, I don't think. I think Adam is going to be a manipulative character.
Are they going to do a domestic abuse?
No, I think that'd be too obvious. I think he's...
What about a mental domestic abuse? Not physical, but mentally abusing Honey.
No, I think it's going to be something where Adam is given an opportunity to go somewhere, and Honey is a bit, oh yeah, okay, I'll go with you. But then he starts learning that if she goes away, she's going to be a bit of a housewife. So she's going to be kind of, staying at home, and the kids might be going to a private school, so they'll be out the way, and she won't want that situation because she's very much a family person. And Billy will be like, I can give you everything you want here. And
no, you can't.
Well, yeah, but she'll concede.
As Karen pointed out, Adam's got big arms.
Adam has got big arms.
So
well spotted, Karen.
Billy can't give him that.
Well, he could, but he'd have to work for it, and that's something Billy doesn't like to do.
No. So him and Alfie, because Alfie's back, everyone. I think I've mentioned this.
I feel like there should be a cheer, but I can't muster the effort.
So Alfie seems to be best pals with all the guys, apparently. So he helps Billy show Adam up, because Alfie's done this before, and he starts giving 1-star reviews on Adam's business page.
Yes, on his Yelp account and his Google Maps, and it's just ridiculous.
It's stupid. It's so stupid. And poor Adam, his dentistry, his rating's going to go down.
I know. Well,
he's going to appear on page 2 of Google instead of page 1.
Maybe that's what's going to happen. Maybe Adam's going to go bankrupt.
Oh yeah,
and he's going to lose all his money, and so
he blames Billy for the bad reviews.
Yeah, and starts that could be something. Maybe he attacks Billy, and
there's no way to prove it.
Yeah, but that's what I mean.
Yeah.
So he'll build and build and build and build. Billy will start doing more and more stupid things, I don't know, getting...
Well, I'd be cheering Adam up, personally. And then they all go to choir because Honey's in the choir. So Billy's now tagging along as well, wanting to sort of show off. He can't sing. And then, Morag calls Adam up to sing, and Billy sits there all smug looking at him oh, you're about to make a big fool of yourself.
Yeah, because don't forget Adam's got a bad throat from all the singing. So surely that's a clue for Billy to say, well, maybe Adam's actually not too bad because he's been practicing. Yeah. You idiot.
But no, he sings away and he's a voice of an angel.
It's beautiful. The choir mistress calls it oral pleasure. Oral
I love that.
pleasure. And talking of oral pleasure, when Robbie finds out there's £5,000 to be won, the face he gives, it's like Donna was back.
Donna kebab sign.
Yeah, flashing in the background.
Oh, Adam's good at everything, apparently.
Adam is the king.
He's the perfect man, apparently, for Honey.
I mean,
there's going to be something really horrible. He has a basement full of customers or something.
Oh my god, yeah, imagine if he's got a woman or a man trapped in his basement and he uses them for experiments, pulling their teeth out.
Yeah.
Oh, I'd like
is
that.
His dentistry's not at his house, is it? No,
it's a proper practice. Yeah.
That could be something like his anaesthetic.
Also, did you notice that Adam called Honey this week?
Oh, did he?
I'm sure I saw him say it once.
Because he used to call her Susan, didn't he?
He did.
Very formal.
Maybe I might...
They've reached that next step.
Yeah, from calling her real name to her fake name. Romance.
To a honey trap.
I'm not certain, actually. I don't want to say that for 100% positivity, but...
Maybe. It's a little thing, him being closer to her, I guess.
Yeah, more affectionate.
Yeah, pet name.
Sit, Honey.
So we also have a few more things with the choir storyline, which is ongoing.
It didn't end there.
No.
Oh, no.
So who else has joined now?
Well, Karen's joined, but she's not singing because she hasn't got the oral pleasure that's needed for the role.
Not like Adam.
Not like Adam. So instead, she is turning the pages for the piano player. That's her job.
But she's only there because there's a cash prize, apparently.
Yeah, I just said it.
Yeah,
So
that's why now Karen's there, because money signs are in her eyes. And the ongoing relationship possibility of Jean and Ian simmering.
But Jean gave him some sage advice, basically because it's
This made me laugh.
It's Lucy's birthday next week.
Yeah. Ian was like sad today.
Yeah.
And she was like, why are you sad today? It's like, oh, it's Lucy. And we thought, oh, is it the anniversary of her death? Is it this, that? Oh no, it's her birthday next week. It's like, what? So obviously the story's not in it next week, so they just popped it on this week. But
then he said, "Oh, and Peter's." Oh yeah, your son who actually still lives.
But they're not talking.
Well, Jean says, "Why don't you give him a call? Because to show that you're remembered is like the nicest thing you can do for someone."
Wise words. And he like touches her hand on her lap. And like shocks himself a bit.
But then he's surprised that he's done it and then runs away. Again, like a child.
I'm still not pro Jean and Ian.
I am, and I don't know why. It's one of those things, again, I say this every time whenever you say that. On paper, awful. Bubbling in your head of imagination. Actually, I quite like it. Although I think I
always see Jean as older than Ian. I don't know why. But I always see her as an older.
No, she's got daughter Stacey's about the same age as...
I suppose. I don't know why I do, but I don't know. There's nothing there.
I mean, I think Ian works well for comedy value with the Slaters. Again, throwing back to when Kat returned. Remember when she was hid in the cupboard?
Oh, yeah,
when he came over? Yes, that was a really nice scene.
And he was there for Hayley's birthday cake as well.
He was there. He made the cake, yeah. I don't know. I think the only thing I find awkward is the idea of Jean and Ian kind of being romantic together. I think that'd be a bit weird. But I do
Maybe they'll have one of those relationships like Pat and Roy or Dot and Jim where they're just, they're just together.
Comfort each other.
Not together.
Yeah, something needs to happen in the Beale house because nothing is happening there.
Kathy needs to come home.
Yeah, where is Kathy?
Her holiday in Portugal. She should be in the choir because she was in the rubbish storyline 2 years ago with the pantomime, whatever it was, that they were doing with Derek. She was involved with that, wasn't she? So she should be involved with the choir, Kathy.
Do you reckon there'll be an uprising at the choir at some point? Because the choir mistress, you can tell, is quite mad. She
she knows everyone.
She knows H from Steps, Lord Sugar. She said a few this week.
Yeah, she's a bit nutty.
Yeah,
but Kathy needs to step in. I think she needs to step in for Christmas.
Maybe that will probably be what happens. Kathy will probably come back from her holiday. And
why am I involved?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I thought we did everything together now, Ian.
I wasn't here, but why am I not involved?
Although that might be something else as well. If Ian and Jean have a relationship, Kathy will be like, well, why can you have a relationship with Jean, but I can't have a relationship with Masood? And then that will break down and blah. So anyway. Okay.
I do long for Kathy's return, though.
We all long for Kathy's return.
3 weeks now, she's been missing from my...
I mean, she's been missing for years, so a few weeks won't hurt you.
That's true. So next up, we have the Slater storyline, which involves the wonderful Alfie, who has turned up and he's been written completely annoyingly. Meant to be lovable, but it's like annoying lovable.
And he's back for Kat.
And his mobile phone, I can't take any more of that ringtone.
Did you not like the...
You've heard it. It's meant to be like, oh, how funny. Alfie's got a silly ringtone. He's had that ringtone for years, I know. But it's just, I don't want to... We heard it about over 40 times this week, I think.
But because he keeps getting phone calls from people and he keeps saying to them, oh, can I call you back?
I know. He's
can
like
I call you back?
A brand new business, doesn't have an office, nothing, no cars. He's getting all these phone calls but not booking anything.
No, he's not booking anything. And also, he's trying to drum up business because later in the week, he puts on this presentation in the cafe.
It's just doing my head in Alfie is. I hope that the Christmas death is Alfie. I've said it now. It's a few weeks before Christmas. I want him to be dead.
I don't want to put a dampener on things, but I think I know who the Christmas death is.
It better be Alfie.
I can't tell you, but I think you might be disappointed.
Yes, well. If it's Hayley, I'm going to be really angry because I don't want Hayley to die.
It won't be Hayley. I'm telling you that now. Place your bets now, kids.
Don't care if it's Stuart. I just want it to be Alfie.
Well, we have to wait and see when Christmas comes.
Oh, he's so annoying. I used to love Alfie. This is really annoying me that I want him now dead.
I mean, Alfie and Kat this week kind of it got better.
It didn't. We had the Slater party. Yes. It was really busy. Alfie made this party so he could sneak into the house and speak to Kat.
He wants to speak to Kat because he's still not wise about Hayley, and Jean's trying to hide Hayley away.
But how did he know he wouldn't be invited, welcome in the house, before? Is that explained or not? Because he's like trying to hide from Jean and Big Mo.
Well, Mo is angry with him because he's invited loads of people to the party and they're drinking all of her alcohol that she stole from other people's houses. And Jean is angry because she thinks that he's hurt Kat and that he doesn't deserve a third
That's what
chance.
I mean. So how did he pre-know to make this fake party to get into the house?
Well, he knew that about Jean. He obviously didn't know that about Mo.
Right.
And he just presumed that Jean would be waiting for him at the front door with like a...
baseball bat.
Well, no, it wasn't a baseball bat though, was it? It was a paper plate full of like sausage rolls and sandwiches.
Yeah.
She's just going to throw them at him or something like that.
So we have Kat hiding in the toilet because she doesn't want to speak to him.
Yes. Hayley
does...
hiding in her bedroom because she's been told by Jean to stay there because the party's really bad and boring and you won't like it anyway, so stay up there. Just stay up there. Just believe me, just stay up there.
And he does get into the bathroom eventually because he gets Kim to help him get in because she's pregnant. A reminder.
Yes, and she was genuinely needing the toilet, which she then did in front of them while they hid behind a shower curtain.
And something was in the shower, which was questionable.
Yes, a pink rubber phallic-shaped... thing. The BBC still haven't revealed if that's anything.
It was obviously deodorant, but I don't know.
Was it obviously a deodorant?
The shower. Do you have deodorant in the shower?
I suppose if you've just had a shower and you've dried off, you might want to just spray yourself quick before you go.
My assumption was that it was Big Mo's.
Well, this is what I was going to say. There was a big Twitter debate of whose, if it was what it might have been, whose was it? Because what we found out this week, Jean exclaimed that there's like 100 people living in the house. 11 people living in the house.
And counting now.
And counting. So of those 11 people, who owns
Big
this?
Mo.
Do you reckon it's Big Mo's?
Has to be.
I think it's...
Or Cat.
I don't want to sound horrible to Big Mo, but I can't imagine that she would keep it very hygienically clean. I would imagine it'd be one of those things.
That's why it's hung up in the shower.
But that's what I'm saying. So she could rinse it under the shower.
Oh, let's not talk about
if
this.
she had it like in a drawer next to her
No,
bed.
I don't want to go into
Okay,
detail
fine.
about this.
Let's go
but
into detail about the story.
Do we have to?
Yes, we do.
No, him and Kat are like having some like heart-to-heart in the bathroom. I don't care for Kat and Alfie getting back together.
You've made that clear.
So they were. I don't think I've watched the episode twice, but I don't think I've actually taken in what they were talking about in the shower. He was just like saying a bunch of rubbish.
He just wanted to get back together with her.
But he lets us see the kids, which is nice.
Which Kat is a bit cautious about because she thinks, especially Tommy, she's worried because obviously Tommy is the one who had boiling hot water spilt on him thanks to Kat. But they were all fine. Tommy was a bit reserved.
Yeah, he didn't like go straight away, did he?
No, he stood back a little bit. But
I thought it was really nice when Kat was like hugging and she was crying. They showed a shot of Big Mo. Yeah, they almost showed how Big Mo she turned away but almost cried.
Yeah,
it was like a bit of a human moment from Big Mo, which is quite nice because normally she's just relegated to comedy, one line, walk in the room, walk out. So I thought that was like a little nice touch.
Big Mo's sad.
Yeah, I thought, she has got feelings. So that was nice. I thought it wasn't something that had to be shown, but I thought it was quite a nice little nod.
But Alfie eventually, once they have all got together, sees that Stacey is holding a little child.
Automatically thinks it's her.
Well, yes. Well, to be fair to him,
who's the dad for this one? Is it Max's?
Are they on the square? Are they here?
Alfie kept putting his foot in it as well at the party with everyone.
Oh, yes.
Trying to flaunt his funeral service because he goes up to Max and says about funerals. And it's Abby's dead. Too late.
I think you need to choose your audience better.
I'm surprised they haven't done a scene with Jay and Alfie yet. I presume that's going to come up where they're upset with each other.
Rival funeral parlours.
I'm surprised they haven't done that. And then he tries to sell a funeral to Karen as well.
Yes.
She's not interested though.
No, she's too busy eating up the buffet. Though they were eating the buffet, there was no kind of storing some for later with the Taylors this week. So that was nice. They've moved on a little bit. They're able to afford their own food.
Yes. Yeah. So Alfie wants to hold the baby.
Yes.
No name.
Believing it's Stacey's baby, and whilst he's holding it, Stacey says, "Oh no, that's not my baby. It's Hayley's." And just as she says it, Hayley's in the doorway looking through the gap in the door, and Jean's looking the whole time. You can tell Jean's just holding her breath. Yeah, the whole time.
Well, she quickly gets her upstairs again, doesn't she, Jean? Right, you go upstairs quick.
And you can see Alfie is knocked for 6. This is winded Alfie finding out this
He's
information.
doing the maths in his head.
Well, yes, I think he knew though.
Yeah.
Although Hayley does try to pass it off as very briefly as Keanu's.
I know. No, it's a lad called Keanu's really nice.
Yeah.
No, it's not. No, it isn't. It's like, well done, Hayley. World's worst liar.
But she did do a good lie when she said to Alfie that no one else knows about them too, or that it's his baby. But then again, later on, it's exposed. So Alfie wants to take his kids the next day out to have some food, although he hasn't got much money left. So he decides to beg on the streets.
The whole thing of Alfie is annoying because the fact he also borrows a TV from Ian and walks outside Ian's house and someone says, "Oh, you're selling that?" And he goes, "Oh yeah." He just
Someone
sells
else's television.
It's like you're living in Ian's house. You're apparently your friends. I can't remember them being friends. You know, he's living in that house probably rent free with all his kids. And he just sells his TV off like it's nothing, and then borrows the Slater's
and then gives the
TV.
Slater's TV
Yeah,
to
it's
Ian
like, for sake, Alfie,
as a
you
gift.
really are.
But he's
not lovable anymore. That's the trouble.
Yeah,
he's just annoying and like doing horrible things all the time.
I mean, when Alfie was first introduced and he used to do kind of like cheeky deals and kind of like mess around a little bit, it was endearing. But now he's got this big history behind him and this big past where like there's these ins and outs, and you know that Alfie's done quite bad things as well in the past, where he lit his own house alight so he could get the insurance money, for instance, and burning Kat's face. You know, now you know this information about him. These kind of cheeky dealings don't seem quite so endearing anymore.
No, that's the biggest thing that John York has done, is all the characters he keeps bringing back. He's like trying to go back to 2001 and like he seems to forget the character progression that people have had. We've said this about Ian, haven't we? How he's turned Ian into that bumbling businessman again. He's done it with Alfie, where he's just taken Alfie back 15 years and it's just not endearing anymore because Alfie is a lot older than he used to be.
Yeah, a lot older, and a lot has
a lot more history. It's annoying. And the fact he just sold the TV to some guy on the street was annoying.
To make a bit of money. But then we don't really learn what he did with the money once he had it.
Where he made his like weird presentation in the cafe about funerals.
It was a selling technique, wasn't it? He was selling the over-the-moon funeral parlour service, when if you phone, you won't get any service. And
not even for cats.
No, you won't even get a cat funeral. How many?
Is that foreshadowing Cat's death, is it?
Oh, maybe. But I did enjoy the video that he played. Did you enjoy the video that he played? You saw
I don't enjoy any of it.
Well, no, they showed
the old woman like pleading her life.
Philomena, Philomena. She's like, when I was dying and my husband had died, there was only one man I would trust, and that was Alfie Moon. He made me a funeral with Alfie Moon over the moon funeral parlour. This felt like that kind of scenario. Like he filled in the gaps of this generic video he found on YouTube.
I have problems with Alfie. His like tactics are so, it's like something you see in like Only Fools and Horses or something in the 90s, like 80s or something, and it's like in 2018 it just doesn't cut it. These like, who's gonna go to a cafe to arrange a funeral?
I don't know, people on EastEnders.
It annoys me.
But he did originally do the presentation at the church, didn't he?
No one was there apart from Kat.
He was setting it up. And also we do know that Alfie has this elaborate, was it a green screen or was it just like a background that he had that he was phoning Kat with?
Those screens, didn't they? Where have they gone? Sold them.
Yeah. So he's had these weird things.
I do feel the writers are trolling us because Alfie said, "Oh, wouldn't it be great if I had £1 million?"
Yeah, no, that was a weird.
No. Stacey said, "Oh, what have you won £1 million?"
No. She said, with your new business, you're going to make £1 million.
Yeah, and it's like
they had £1 million.
Yes, it's not been mentioned. And then later in the week, they move in, and then there's 15 people in the Slater house.
Well, yes, now...
And everyone knows that has been in like 20 news articles, and everyone moans about how many people are in the house. Now there's 4 more.
It's the most crowded house
15
in
people
history.
in that house now.
It really is,
And it's like the writers are just doing it just to like laugh at us, I think.
It's like a student house, isn't it? They're all just laying in the hallway. I don't know if the writers... There must be a plan here. The writers must be thinking, well, maybe Hayley might move out. I'd imagine Hayley would move out, wouldn't you? Hayley might move out with Jean.
Depends who dies at Christmas.
Yeah, true.
But I think Whitney and Tiff need to move out.
Well, no, because Tiffany's practically moved out now and living with Evie now anyway, isn't she? So
Ricky will come back or something, and they'll get a house. Ricky and Janine, Whitney and Tiff in a house.
Yeah. I mean, Jack's got all these flats, these bedsits around Albert Square, can't he just rent them out to people?
Ruby.
Rent them all out to Ruby, so she's got a safe house, her own house. She can write.
She's disappeared this week after the phenomenal episode last week.
Well, she's redecorating with lipstick, isn't she? She's painting all her walls with lipstick.
I mean, we have Alfie who wants to take Kat on a date because Jean's about to tell her. So he butts in and says, "Oh, I'm going to take you out on a date."
Yeah, so Jean gave him the ultimatum. Yes, and to stop her from saying anything, yes, he jumps in quickly. And so the date is, which is quite genius if you give him some props. It is that he knows that him and Kat fell in love when they worked behind the bar at the Queen Vic. So he asks Linda to feign sickness so that they can then cover a shift together behind the Queen Vic.
See, this is the episode which made me think they will kill Alfie off.
What, on that night?
No, like the big Christmas, whatever it is. I don't even know if anyone dies at Christmas, I'm just assuming. But because they keep doing all these like, oh, it's a lovely moment. Oh, we're harking back to the first time we ever met each other, and we're harking back to both us being behind the Vic, and then they like kiss at the end, and there's a Christmas tree behind them, and they're like doing a slow motion camera around them and stuff, and it's like so it's leading up to, I feel, Alfie's demise. Plus he's opening a funeral thing, so he like his own funeral will be paid for.
Plus cat funeral.
Yeah.
Do you do funerals for cats?
No, but we do for Alfie.
So do you think these are like little hints?
No, I don't know. I have no idea anymore.
I mean, that is quite clever if they are doing these little clues that they're going to.
I mean, there must be a reason why they're like making us force us to love Alfie and Kat together again.
Oh, because it's reminding. Basically, viewers are going not so well for EastEnders. So what's a quick and easy fix? Oh, remind people of what
the good old
used to be. Yeah, remember when it used to be like this with Kat and Alfie. And I think that's also another reason why they had them like recreating like scenes on Friday with them behind the bar and everyone's all lively and excited. Alfie had Kat stand in the doorway and said, "Do you remember when you first walked in the doorway? That was the first time I fell in love with you." And it's just, and it's not just doing it for the benefit of Kat and Alfie getting back together again and they're falling back in love. It's also saying, "Hey viewers, remember when them two were together and they fell in love and how cheeky their relationship was?" Yeah,
they're really
Keep
overdoing
watching.
it though,
Yeah.
because even like Mel, she's getting married on New Year's. It's like that's what she did in 2000. She got married on New Year's.
Yeah, it's reminding you. Remember the good old days.
You know what's going to happen is something along the line is going to say like, Alfie's gonna take Hayley's baby away, and Kat's gonna be like, "Why do you care about her? She's not your daughter." And he's gonna turn around and go, like, "She is."
Or yes, she is.
Yeah, there's gonna be something stupid like that, and they're gonna try and recreate that, and it's gonna really annoy me.
If it happens,
and then Alfie's phone will ring.
Yeah.
But I just know that's gonna happen because they keep trying to recreate famous scenes this year, and it annoys me.
Yeah, well.
So there.
Let it annoy you.
I will.
It will calm down though. Like I say, they are, and we've said this before on some of these storylines. Not all. Well, on some of these storylines, it really is very much putting a plaster over a wound just to give it a quick fix. But there have been good storylines this year.
Yeah, there has. But Alfie, I'm talking about Alfie at the moment, and that's not. It's been very heavy, Alfie heavy this week. I think this is too much for me to handle.
I mean, it's one of those stories where you don't really feel like anything's nothing new's happened. Well, there's other stories where
they're basically back together, and she says, "Guess what? Alfie's moving in."
Hooray!
So yeah, 4 more in the house. That's 15 total now.
Excellent. Now, before we jump into the game, let's just remind all our listeners that they have an opportunity to win a Best of EastEnders DVD and an official EastEnders Weekly mug. Like last week, the only way you can enter is by knowing the secret sentence that we play in the episode, which we're about to play to you now. So, are you ready, Ben? Are you on the edge of your seat? Here is this week, the final week's secret sentence.
Confessions of a Housewife and the Handyman.
Yes. So, Confessions of a Housewife and the Handyman. Now, we had a few... Of course. We had a few people mention to us that it wasn't very fair if we didn't have Twitter. How can we enter the competition? So we're opening it up this week. So you can do it as you did last week. Find the official tweet showing our show links with a picture of the mug and the DVD. Retweet it, like it, and in the comments put Confessions of a Housewife and the Handyman. If you go on our Facebook, you find the post that we do on our Facebook page, share it, and in the comments, put Confessions of a Housewife and the Handyman. or you can email us.
Yeah, if you don't have social media,
if you don't have
just
social
email
media,
us.
just give us an email. So email us, eastendersweek@gmail.com. Put in, if you still want that phrase, you're not going to get it for free. So you need to put in the subject line, Confessions of a Housewife and the Handyman. And if you fancy it, in the main body of the message, say hello. Say, all right, how are you? You all
Why
right?
not?
Yeah, good. And that's another way you can enter. If you wanted to, feel free to enter all 3 methods, and you would get 3 entries by doing that. And if you entered last week, and you should re-enter with Twitter, Facebook, or an email, you will still have last week's as an entry too. So you can have up to 4 entries. I know. This is nuts. That hat we need to buy to pull out the winner is going to have to be huge.
Yes. So let's go on and play a little game.
Ooh.
A little musical number.
Yes, it's time for another edition. Ian Beale's Real Deal. It's time for another edition of Ian Beale's Real Deal, Winston Edition, Volume 2.
That was dramatic.
I thought it was exciting.
Yes, very exciting, yes.
Good. I thought I'd had some vigour this week because I know you weren't too keen on this last time we played. Mainly because of the music.
No, I just wasn't keen on the talent.
Well, I tell you what, we've got some talent for you this week.
I've got my fingers crossed for Tiffany.
So, in this special edition of the game, Ian Beale's Real Deal, we delve into Winston's record box and take out some classic songs that have been performed by the alter ego of the residents of the square. So in this game, just to remind people, if every song you need to tell me whether it charted higher or lower than the previous one. Okay? And obviously we ended it 2 weeks ago with John Altman, who plays Nasty Nick, with the song Uncontrollable, which was...
I'm going to say, before you even say what the song is, higher.
Well, no, the thing is... Of course it's higher because that song uncharted. So for the very first one, I want you to tell me what position it made in the UK chart. And I will give you a little clue after you've heard the first song. Okay. So you ready? You've got your ears clean.
Yes.
Ready to go?
Yeah.
And don't forget to play along at home. Right, here is song number 1.
Sounds like Claire from Steps.
I suppose you're not that far off. That was Martine McCutcheon.
Was it?
Yep.
Well, that's the one you chose from her collection.
From her album On the Radio.
Right.
She had many songs, Ben, not just the one
But
everyone
I wanted
remembers.
This Is My Moment.
Only because you know the chart position of it.
No, I don't. But I wanted that.
Right, so it's a cover of the
I feel
Sandy...
cheated.
the cover of the Sandy Shaw tune.
Is it?
And it is also covered by Kylie Minogue.
Oh.
So, in Ireland, it reached number 18.
Right.
So where do you think it reached? What chart position did it reach in the UK?
7.
That's exactly right.
Oh, is it?
Right. Okay. Now this is when
Do I get double points?
You can have 2 points for that if you
Oh,
want.
thanks.
They mean nothing, but you can have 2. Have 2 points. Go on, treat yourself. So this is when I start to suspect already that you cheated and you've looked at the script sheet
I
already.
haven't cheated. I thought this was Claire from Steps.
Yeah, exactly, and then guessed a number from Air.
Yeah, it's because you gave me the island one, so I could.
That's true. I did give you a little clue, didn't I? Okay, well so now we're back to the higher and lower game. Okay, so chart position number 7. Do you think this next song was higher or lower?
You got to keep your eyes on me. Watch me while I take the lead. Shimmy, shimmy, yeah. Shimmy, yeah. Shake it with me now. 1, 2 steps. Shake it with me. How low can you get?
Yeah, right. So again, could you guess? Okay.
Again, it sounded like Steps.
Pete Waterman has a lot to answer for. It was Preeya Kalidas who played Amira Masood.
Oh, right.
And she sang that. And it featured Mumzy. I don't know who that is. I'm presuming the rapper. And the song was called Shimmy from 2010.
Shimmy A.
Shimmy I, Shimmy A. It was
I
her.
didn't know she had a song.
She had lots of songs. She had 2 albums.
The one who was marrying Saeed?
Yeah.
God, so that's why she left.
This song was released while she was still in the soap. She was in the soap from 2009 to 2012.
Oh.
So she started her career while she was in the soap.
My God.
So taking the point that you didn't even know she had a music career, do you think that song charted higher or lower than 7?
Lower, for sure.
Do you want to take a stab in the dark for a guess?
33.
No, 85. So lower. Yeah, got to number 85.
Oh,
You're
so
doing another point. You're doing well. Right, here comes number 3. And a bit retro, that one, didn't it? Bit
that sounds like Eurovision.
Oh yeah, bit like Steps.
No.
No. So that was Sophie Lawrence, who played Diane Butcher.
Oh God.
Yeah.
That's loosely a character. But
She was
fine.
she was a butcher, Ben. She was a legacy character.
Yeah.
Love's Unkind, which was a Donna Summer cover from 1991. Higher or lower than 85?
Higher.
Yeah, stab a guess.
42.
No, 21.
Oh.
Almost cracked the top 20.
So 21.
21. So, yep, next song. Higher or lower than 21? This is a treat to the ears, let me tell you.
But I know that you're sad, and I know I make you happy with the one thing that you never had. Baby, I'm your man. Don't you know that?
I know, there's that Alfie.
It is.
Was that a charity song?
It was a charity song.
Right.
Recently came back to the soap. That was Shane Ritchie, who's Alfie Moon, in 2003. And it was a cover of George Michael's I'm Your Man. And you're right, it was a charity single for children in need. Bear in mind, charity singles, no matter how bad they are, tend to do quite well. Higher or lower than 21?
I know this because Shane Ritchie just tweeted it, but I can't remember what he said it got to. I think he said number 11, so higher.
And you're saying 11?
Or 1.
It had a 1 in it.
It was 11. No, it was number 1. It had to be number 1.
If you'd said 11,
Mm.
you'd have been wrong.
Oh, good.
But you're also wrong with number 1.
No.
It got to number 2.
Oh,
It was a bridesmaid, not the bride.
no.
Just didn't quite crack the number 1 spot. Yep. 2003, Shane Ritchie did that. Beautiful song.
And it had the Asian family from that sitcom in it, didn't it?
No,
Was that a different song
that
I'm
was a different
thinking
song. That
of?
was Gareth Gates,
Oh,
who sang
yeah.
Spirit in the Sky.
That's what I was thinking of for some reason.
I'm a bit worried that came straight to my mind immediately. I knew the answer to that. Right, final one then. So number 2, this last song, song number 5, Higher or Lower?
That sounds like a football anthem.
It does. It's that kind of era as well.
Hmm.
When like kind of laddie pub culture songs kind of started to come out. Want to guess who
Who is it?
Who it was? No, you don't know. Sean Maguire, who played Aidan Brosnan in EastEnders. He was quite a known character.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, okay.
I just unexpected that Aidan Maguire.
No, Sean Maguire, he played Aidan.
Yeah.
Oh no, not Aidan Maguire.
Oh,
no.
big drug baron.
No. Yeah, no. This was Sean's final release and his only song that was not released on an album. So this was his last song after 2 albums. Everyone has 2 albums, by the way.
Mm.
It's like they give
Very
him a
tricky.
chance.
The second album, you see.
It is a tricky second
Make
album.
or break. Most likely break. This is lower than 2.
Yeah, last guess.
83.
No, he did better than that.
Oh.
27.
Okay.
27. So there we go. So you got them all right. And the first
Is it
one...
6 points.
Yeah, 6 out of 10 if you're going to include chart position.
Oh yeah, that's impossible.
But it wasn't impossible because you did it.
No, I
the
didn't get
first
one.
time.
Martine McCutcheon.
Well done though. This game may return again because believe it or not, there are more songs.
Well, Tiffany's got one.
Okay.
Tiffany Jr. I mean,
Yeah.
Maisie Smith.
Maybe,
She has songs on YouTube.
maybe we could have a Tiff off. Do Martine McCutcheon and the new Tiffany.
Yeah.
That's not a bad idea. Right, I've stolen it. Don't anyone else do it. Don't anyone else copy that idea. That was another round of Ian Beale's Real Deal. Yet again, Ben doesn't fail to fail.
I got all of them right, so I don't know what you're talking
No,
about.
you didn't. You missed out on 4 points.
They're not real points.
I jest, of course. Ben, you did very well.
I
Considering,
don't want your fake thanks. Let's just move on.
considering your
No.
ears bled near the end of that.
Yes,
from
well, I
music.
was quite upset Martine McCutcheon's number 1 hit wasn't there.
Like I say, there's room for more.
Oh, God. No, there is room because we had the band this week. I just want to mention that on Classic EastEnders.
Oh, we did. Yes,
A
quick.
full 3-minute section of her Sharon singing.
Well, it was the full song. And
Calvin dancing.
dancing, prancing around, dancing, prancing.
Oh,
it's all
his
the
dance
same.
was hilarious.
But he was copying Sharon.
Yeah, but hers was like manly and his was like womanly.
That's so the wrong way round. Simon watched on angrily.
There was a mini whodunit of
Yes.
who swapped tape.
Who swapped the backing track? Again, showing how redundant Ian was on the drums. Like the whole time, Ian just surely if he was a good drummer, he could have just quickly picked it up and said, "Turn off the tape, I'll carry on doing it live." But no, he just kind of whimsically whacked his sticks on this.
I'm just going to do a quick roundup of Classic EastEnders.
Why
just to
not?
keep me happy. 'Cause
Yeah.
it's the only thing getting me through cents at the moment. One of my top points was Beale watching the tape back and like grinning and smiling at Sharon singing.
Yeah, and
like
going, "Go on, my son."
zooming in on Ian playing drums.
Go on, my son. Go on, my
With the
son.
slippers on. Pat is back, which is everything because she's hilarious. She's smoking behind the bar and
Yeah,
drinking and flirting with everyone. Got her boobs out.
yeah.
They like the bigger women.
Well, they like Pat because Pat's got this big personality, so she's drawing in the men.
Beale and Pat's discussion at the table was amazing.
That was intense, wasn't it? That was
I
fantastic.
just love Beale. The way she just sits everyone down here, right, this is it. And then she's well away with all her secrets.
It's a shame Louise has been named after her,
I
really,
know,
because
doesn't fit.
it really doesn't.
That's Mark's fault.
Yes, well, we'll be having words with
Run
him.
away. So yeah, Classic EastEnders is going. And we had the Angie and Den two-hander, which was
Yes.
amazing. When
This-
she pretends that she only has 6 months to live.
Yes, she's dying, and I think next week is the Orient Express episode when she reveals all.
And the second she says, I got 6 months to live, and she just goes on the couch and goes, it's hilarious because it just looks funny because she just looks insane with her like straw hair. But it's like a moment of madness, like, oh, I've just said it, that's it. I can't go back now. But yeah, very good.
I just love Anita Dobson. She's just lovely, a wonderful actress.
She is.
And we had a great opportunity to meet her, didn't we? We met her as well.
We did, yes.
And yeah, really lovely woman.
It was good.
And Sharon, let's not forget, Sharon's always wearing her yellow bebop jumper. She loves that yellow bebop jumper. She has nothing else to wear, but she's a serious businesswoman now. She'll take whatever she can get from the job centre.
And Punk Mary is like trolling Ozcabs.
Big time.
Extreme.
know.
Like, she ordered a prostitute to the cafe.
Like £200 worth of Chinese food. And she's
Threw bricks through windows,
Yeah.
through cars.
poor Mamet. I feel a bit sorry for him. It was only one night.
He deserves it.
He slept with her once, and that's what he
No.
gets.
He got her drunk when she didn't want to.
That's true. Hashtag me too.
Don't mess with Punk Mary, trust me.
Yes. So yeah, so that's
More of that to come soon.
so yeah, that was our roundup of the classic
I feel better
EastEnders.
now.
I know, it makes you feel cleansed,
I
don't you?
do.
Talking about EastEnders classic.
Yeah.
So more next week. Oh, I'm so looking forward to the Christmas. I can't believe they're showing the Christmas the big 30 million
know.
viewer
They're
Christmas
showing it
episode
at
on
Christmas.
Christmas Day.
And then they're showing
The
current one.
current EastEnders.
So I hope it doesn't like take away from it. Because I'm a bit worried about the Stuart and Linda two-hander next week now. Because I just watched the Den and Angie one. And it was so good.
I mean, I've got good hopes for that, actually, because Stuart is an amazing actor.
Yeah, they're good actors. I'm just worried about John York.
I wouldn't worry too much.
We'll see.
You
We'll
might
see.
not have too much of involvement on that one. Maybe it had already been arranged.
We'll see. But the last storyline of current EastEnders that we are talking about is Tiff, Evie, Keegan, and Louise.
Yes.
And Bernie.
Oh, yeah, don't forget and Bernie.
Bernie tries to stick up to Evie this week.
She does. Good on her. She does. She stands her ground.
Yeah.
But she always seems to. They always seem to emotionally blackmail her back into into her role, don't they?
Yeah. Because Evie is basically wanting Tiff to push drugs on Keegan again. And she's sort of hanging around Tiff and being a bit touchy again with her. She like keeps stroking her hair. She's doing that all week to Tiff.
Yes.
She's sussing everything out, isn't she? She's sussing out that Bernie has a thing for Tiff. And she almost like flirts with Bernie a bit to say that she thinks she's attractive as well and stuff like that.
Yes, but ultimately she's doing this in front of Bernie because she knows it hurts Bernie. Because she knows. I don't know how she does though, because I don't think Tiff has ever openly said to Evie, "Oh yeah,
I think
Bernie."
Evie's just good at picking up on signals like body
Right,
language and
right.
stuff. I don't know why. She's obviously streetwise. She's obviously, I don't know, there's something that she's obviously very good at picking up.
Jagger might have said something as well.
feelings.
Jagger might have
Yeah.
dropped something
Or
in.
Tiff might have said something to try and
Yeah.
look cool or something.
Hmm.
But yeah, she bumps into Keegan on purpose.
Yes. And again tries to knock Keegan down, and Keegan's almost ready to pounce, but just get pulls away by Louise to kind of just forget about
leave
it.
it.
Yeah, just leave
Go to
it.
Brighton.
Yeah, but we had the picnic set up and everything. Yeah. No, we can't just pass over the fact that Keegan and Louise
Yeah,
finally
getting together.
Yes, they are together, but they did it in quite a way.
I mean, he announced his love for Louise 2 years ago when the bus crash happened. When he was
Yes.
recording her and making fun of her, and he said, "Only do it because I fancy her."
Yeah.
So they've gone along with that. So they're sort of setting up their relationship. They got caught at Ian's house when they were babysitting.
Yes, but Ian was fine. She says, "You won't say anything to my dad, will you?" And he says, "Don't give me anything to tell him." Get
I doubt
out.
he'll say anything to Phil anyway. Do anything not to
Oh,
talk to
you
Phil.
know it's going to happen. There'll be some fallout, and Phil will be like, "Well, at least my daughter doesn't sleep in someone else's house." And they'll be like, "Oh, here we go." Because we know Phil's not very keen on the Taylor lad.
No.
And again, it's building up for this whole, basically all the women that he loves, all fancy Taylors.
Why wouldn't they? Good family.
Good gene pool.
Yeah. They got Hannah from S Club 7 in their gene pool.
Yes.
Why would you not be happy?
No party like an S.
I didn't like how Louise was ditching Bex. That annoyed me.
Well, I didn't like the way that Tiffany was ditching Bernie.
I know.
She really, again,
Really horrible.
using her friendship. She's only useful when she needs something, and then just ditches her when it's unnecessary.
I think Bernie and Bex should just be friends.
I think so.
They'd be happy.
And it'd be cool as well because they could just call themselves B&B and loads of people. It's like,
Yeah,
oh,
cool.
who are those two girls over there? Well, that's B&B. That's Bernie and Bex. It sounds like a band name, doesn't it?
Oh no.
Bernie
Not a
could-
modern band.
Bernie could play the tambourine.
The drums.
Yeah,
Ian can be the manager. He can take Harry's place.
yeah. He can swap the tracks on the live evening.
I did speak to BBC EastEnders and requested that if Ian wants to get Mel back, that he should get Simon Wicks over to write a love song and play a bat song for him.
Yes.
That's a good idea, I think.
Did you hear anything
No.
back? No.
Simon Wicks is occupied.
But yes, maybe Bex could write a nice romantic song for Mel and Ian when they have their relationship.
Evie ends up asking about Bernadette and Keegan's sort of relationship because Bernie's like following Evie and Tiff to make sure nothing happens, but like staying on the sideline.
Yeah, not getting too close because she knows that if she interrupts too much, that everyone knows Evie's dangerous. They just know this. Even like some of the Stuart got the sharp end of her tongue this week, and Keegan obviously got it, and Bernie's got it. So everyone's realising that Evie's
she's
not
not
someone
scared
to
of
play with.
anything, is she? Evie? She obviously thinks she's invincible, so she's quite dangerous in that way. So her job for Tiff is she wants to give drugs to Keegan.
Yeah, so it's weird. She's really trying to push the Taylors, isn't she? So she's doing it with Keegan, she's doing it with Bernie. So I don't know if there's some kind of rift. Are we
Yeah, I
going to
don't
learn
know.
that there's a rift between Evie's family or Evie and the Taylors somewhere?
It's really odd, unless she just sees Keegan as an easy person to get into drugs, easy to get him into, maybe.
Yeah. Do you think,
Business opportunity.
and this is a real jump the shark somewhat,
Oh God.
do you think Evie is Keanu's sister? So they both share the same father, and that father is the one that was sent to prison.
No, I don't.
Do you not?
No.
That's where the vendettas come
No.
from between her and the Taylors.
It could be the same gang. That
Well, it is the
stabbed
same-
Keegan and Shaquille. Is she in the same cahoots as the gang?
I like my theory bet.
I don't think they're related. I just think she sees Keegan as an easy business opportunity to push drugs and get him addicted and then up the prices.
Okay.
She keeps giving him free bags.
But why she got this thing on Bernie? Why is she trying to push?
Because Styx and Jagger said they have a thing with Bernie, don't they?
Yeah, but Jagger is out of it now. I think Jagger. Again, this is another thing I'm thinking. I reckon Jagger might jump in soon and be a bit of a
Anti-hero.
yeah. And
I think the reason she wants Bernie out of the way is because she knows that Bernie is the one in the way of Tiff completely being reliant on Evie. So if she gets Bernie out of the way, she'll completely have Tiff to mould into whatever she wants.
yeah, but we've seen Tiff now, and you can see Tiff is so easily moulded. She doesn't need to go to these extreme measures. She could have done it without doing any. She practically did push drugs onto Keegan without doing anything involving Bernie.
But if the more vulnerable Evie makes Tiff, the more likely she's going to go to Evie and do whatever she wants.
Well, so make Bernie definitely not want to have anything to do with Tiff, so she's got no one to run to if it all goes wrong. Yeah, I suppose so.
And she's like isolating her, I guess.
Yeah, singling her out.
But I don't think Bernie's going to go that easy. She's a master chess player. She's got strategic
Ooh,
mind.
That's exactly it. She has. So she knows how to play the game, the long game.
Yes.
Yes.
Maybe that's what that was leading to for a whole year.
But the chess story, this is where she's going to stand up in front of Evie and say, I play chess and I know what you're doing.
No. I really don't know. I mean, she does give Keegan drugs in the end. Bernie does spot it, but
Yes.
Keegan keeps hold of them.
I mean, Bernie is easily distracted with the thought of buying chips. He's like, do you want to go out and get chips? Do I? And off she goes.
Yeah. And Keegan's like contemplating taking them, and Louise sees him in the playground. So she like sits next to him and like asks him to look at his phone, and then she goes, "Oh, I've just seen this."
Yeah.
Like, takes it out of his pocket.
What's this? Sherbet.
I mean, at least, Keegan's got Bernie fighting his cause to stop this, and also Louise is also not having any of it. So,
But then Tiff is the one that says to Keegan, manipulating Keegan, using words that Evie has used with Tiff, saying, I'm your friend. I've been in this situation. I remember how down I felt when Billy died. And you do need this. This will help soften the blow a little bit. And it seems to be that Keegan is only listening to Tiff and no one else. Even though Louise, give Louise kudos, she took the bag, said, "Oh, we could take it together sometime," and then ripped it in front of him. And you could tell, but Keegan was like, "Oh, actually, I did want to do that. I did want to see." What
also,
it felt
is
like.
that going to be like Evie's now going to be like, "Well, you've taken them. You haven't paid for them."
No, they've done that once. They can't do it again because that's how the whole Tiff debacle began.
Yeah.
I don't think they could.
I hope Keegan doesn't get into drugs though, but I'm assuming he's going to.
I'm presuming, that's the road they're running by. But to be fair, we maybe not gone through the whole niches of the story too much, but it's a good story. Again, it's such a little's happened, but there's a lot to debate about it. And it's interesting for me. I find this quite an interesting story.
Yeah, want to learn a little bit more about Evie, maybe.
Yeah, because you don't really know, but then that makes her.
That makes her like you don't know what she can do, basically. But very interesting.
The more we learn about Evie, maybe her mysteriousness would be less impactful. So there we go. So that's the week wrapped up quite nicely in a little parcel. We will be discussing Poll of the Week in a few minutes, but we just want to remind everyone that you can catch us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Podbean, on all great podcast apps. And you can also find us on YouTube. And if you do see us on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe. And that applies again to all the podcast apps you can find us on. But let's quickly have a quick look at Poll of the Week this week, which we always post on Monday's episode of EastEnders on our Twitter, which is at EastEnders Week. And this week we were asking you what your favourite EastEnders storyline of 2018 was, which we will be discussing perhaps in a future episode.
We will.
Now, we gave 4 options, which was Kat's return, Aidan's heist, Abby's death, and Shaquille's knife attack. And it's been an interesting one this week if you're sad like me and you've been watching the numbers go up and down, because there's been 2 that have been like the really popular ones, but they've been going back and forth as the 2 most popular ones. And there's been 2 at the bottom who've been going back and forth as being the 2 like the second place one. So it's been an interesting to see.
Abby's death still triggers me.
Triggered.
So every time I hear the words together.
Well, Kat's return and Shaquille's knife crime, the 2 top ones ended up drawing as number 1. They were the 2 most popular storylines of this year. Second was Abby's death.
Ooh.
And last was Aidan's heist.
Yeah.
Aidan's heist was right at the beginning, and we talk about that as one of our first episodes. I suppose we talk about Abby's death.
It does introduce us to the lovely halfway, I suppose. So
yes,
it's got that going for it.
We got to
When he shot Mick.
We also asked you for any suggestions of any storylines that you've been enjoying, and basically, overwhelmingly, most people have been saying the Shianu story.
Duh.
We love the Shianu story too, and anyone who listens to the podcast would appreciate that we do love that storyline. However, it's not ended yet, so we
too soon.
We thought it was a bit too soon.
2019 awards.
Wait,
Hello.
yeah, exactly. Wait next year, and you will see it just blow all the other stories out of the park. But yeah, so at Coco_Kel says Shianu, no other storyline even came close. At EE Sprite says, waiting for Sharon to return for 2019 is going to be a very long wait. I'm so glad Kate Oates said she was still storyboarding it. It is full of fun and drama.
Well, rumours are that Sharon may not be turning till March time. Duncan Lindsay from the Metro said, watch out, it may be sooner than you think. So who knows what's going on with Sharon?
I think Shianu is such
She's in and out.
Well, she
Up and down.
round and round, spin on the pony. I don't want to carry on. At Joan Collins Wig said, Shianu is 100% the best storyline of 2018. Their hot, saucy antics are more compelling than anything else. Again, I can't disagree with you. They really are. At Danny Robertson says, I'm surprised Aiden's Heist has only got 11%.
I'm not. I'm surprised it got 11%.
And she also says that Keanu under the bed crying was also a stand-up scene, which it was. That sultry tear. So many tears. But yeah, we be honest, we've had lots more comments, but we've run out of time to mention them all. But yes, thank you ever so much for participating in our poll of the week. As I say, we live tweet.
Very popular, wasn't it?
It was really popular this week, and we might be doing something similar next week.
Really?
We live tweet during EastEnders on Twitter at EastEnders Week. You also find the poll of the week, which is posted on Monday. You can find us on Instagram at EastEnders Weekly Podcast. You can Facebook us by searching EastEnders Weekly Podcast, or you can email us eastendersweekly@gmail.com. Don't forget to enter our competition, and we will be drawing the winner next episode.
Very exciting.
Yes, exciting.
For God's sake. I told him to put that bloody phone on silence.